As we've said before, U.S. and China relations have undergone a profound transformation over the past 40 years. These dialogues provide an opportunity to consider how we're going to engage and how we're going to live with one another over the next 40 years. In furthering this relationship, we need to work to expand areas of cooperation, as we did today, on issues where we have shared security interest. But we also need to address directly and very frankly areas where we face threats or areas where we have differences, so that we can narrow these differences and solve the problems. The most acute threat in the region today is posed by the DPRK. We both call for complete, verifiable, and irreversible denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula.
Qatar issued by the State Department yesterday, the administration seems to have acknowledged that it's being played by the Saudis over the Qatar crisis.
We reiterated to China that they have a diplomatic responsibility to exert much greater economic and diplomatic pressure on the regime if they want to prevent further escalation in the region. Whether it is money laundering, extorting Korean expatriates, or malicious cyber activity, North Korea has engaged in a number of criminal enterprises that help fund its weapons programs. We must step up our efforts to help to curtail these sources of revenue. Countries around the world and in the UN Security Council are joining in this effort, and we hope China will do their part as well.
Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary Tillerson.
Lastly, we discussed how this administration will stand up for American and universal values like human rights. We will not be shy about raising our concerns about China's human rights record, and I was direct and candid in our meetings today. Talk is not enough when it comes to increasing cooperation and narrowing differences between our two sides.
Your last visit to China in March, Vietnamese American from Houston, Sandy Van Gillis, was released.
We do manage our differences where we have them, and while competition between our nations is bound to occur, conflict is not inevitable. This afternoon, we affirmed North Korea's nuclear and missile programs as a threat to peace and security in the Asia-Pacific region. We also affirmed our strong commitment to cooperate, including through the UN, to realize our shared goal of denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. Meanwhile, we will continue to take necessary measures to defend ourselves and our allies.